fixed by you. So today's Fixed by You is about how to drive at night and avoid getting dazzled by the oncoming traffic. Well, I would argue that to get dazzled, you've got to be looking at the light. So what I do, and I've done it for years, is I train myself not to look at the light. I think the reason you see rabbits and badgers what are dead in the road is they naturally, like we do, stare. If they see a light, you stare. You can't help but get drawn to that light. So they stared at the light and bang, they're dead. Anyway, don't forget to push the subscribe button and ring the bell. I'm new to this, but I'm gonna get better. So we do the same thing. If you're in a dark room and somebody shines a torch, you instantly look at the light. The first thing is to understand it's our natural impulse to look at this light. So you have to train yourself not to. That's the first thing. The second thing you can do when you're driving at night is, first of all, keep a good distance from the vehicle in front, a stopping distance. But if you're too far behind, you'll find that you'll get more dazzle. So you want to be within your stopping distance to shield some of that noise, that light noise, if you like. Another thing about driving at night, I've drove loads of big trucks and I've always been bemused that the car's trying to get past me at night, because if you're following a big truck, a big box truck, it's the best screen for all those oncoming lights, and they go just as fast as the cars. So if you've got a brain, you stay behind the big truck, letting them shield you from all the lights. The other thing you can do is with your wing mirrors is you often get dazzle coming back. So we're getting dazzled from the front and dazzled from the back. And from the back, what you can do is most cars got electric wing mirrors. So what you can do is just drop, when you're on a straight road and it's dark, just in a car's behind you, just look at his headlights and drop the wing mirrors down a bit so that you cut out their light coming back at you, but not too much, so that you could just dip your head down a bit and you could still see the car behind. You would just turn them down like that. The next thing you can do is with the interior mirror. With the interior mirror, what you can do with that is, again, there's sometimes like a little lever, a little switch, if you like, and you switch it and it flips it off and flips the wing mirror up, but you can still see out of it, but it stops the glare. And if you do both of those two things, you're stopping getting the glare from the front and you're stopping getting the glare from the back, and that's much easier to drive. Another thing you can do is when it's daylight, so daytime, and your car's parked up, sit in the driving seat and look out through the window, and you'll often see, if the dash is shiny, there's a reflection bouncing from this shininess, bouncing back up onto the windscreen, though you probably never noticed it before. So here's my video showing the reflection of the dash, what the light can bounce up from the dash, and how hard it is to see through it. As you can see, the reflection there, and if you look at my hand, you can see that reflecting back up onto this glass, and that's what it does, and it can make it harder to see through the glass to see where you're going. So if you put something dark, like this dark mat, you can see it's a lot easier to see out that window with it than without it. See that? And what I've got is a Velcro strip here just to hold it on while you're driving. But to be honest with you, this was I think it's a drying mat they call it, and it faded over time, and actually sprayed it dull paint with dull black to make it dark again. But you can get some spray to darken the dash down because of this shininess, to make it easier from the auto factors. At night, that will also bounce back from the lights from the cars back up onto the screen, making it harder. Wear a peak cap It makes a shade under the eyes, and it can take away the external glare. Sometimes driving is a bit like watching a movie and somebody opens the door and lets all the light in. It's harder to see. So putting a cap on, making a shade, is like shutting the door so you can see better. The other thing I found really helpful are these. They don't help you see better, in all fairness. I don't think you can see the road better, or it doesn't suddenly, like looking into you can suddenly see the fish and all the rest of it like from a Polaroid. Nothing like that. But I think what it does is, by changing the colour from a bright white light to this amber light, that seems to take away the urge to look at the light. So that helps you keep your eyes on where you're going, instead of having this natural urge to look at that light. That's where they're good. Right, here's the part where I can show you that you can do something even though there's a bright light shining pretty much in your eyes. And it's just sort of a little test to sort of prove you can still do something. If you look here, I've got my bright light shining straight in my eyes. Let me turn this around. Shining straight in my eyes. But I'll write something and prove that. You just ain't got to be looking at the light. You keep looking at the road. So this is like my windscreen, and this is like the oncoming cars. I'll get word up. Let's see if we can do this. I'll write something. I will write something just to show I can still do something while being. Now what I'll do is I'll just increase the size of this, and as you can see I'm looking pretty much near that light, but I'm not looking at the light, I'm looking here. See, I'm trying to make sure I keep there. And I'll just increase this. If I increase this size so that you can see what I wrote, that I have wrote it. Now if I just zoom that up a little bit, hopefully it should show. Got that. And hopefully that's proved. You can still, that's the similar to driving. If I'd just altered my eyes just that fraction, I'd be blinded. I won't be able to see. But I learned not to look at it. Don't forget to push the subscribe button and ring the bell. I'm new to this, but I'm gonna get better. Take care.